Well, Ohio State won the toss, Lisa Salters, and they're going to take the football.
Well, Brent, remember before last weekend's game, Terrell Pryor went to Jim Tressel and said, Coach, if I'm not moving the ball in the first 2 possessions, bench me. I asked Tressel if his quarterback made a similar request tonight, and he said, no, as a matter of fact, he did not. But he knows if he starts throwing the ball to the guys in white, that may happen anyway. But this is a 19-year-old who just oozes cool and calm. Quarterbacks coach Joe Daniels said, we really don't have to say much to the kid either, not because he's really confident, but that he's really competitive. Every week, we give him more and more in practice and ask him, do you understand? He says the same thing. Coach, don't worry, I got it. Brent?
Well, they must be confident about him, Herbie, if they want the ball right away for a freshman quarterback in this setting. That says something about him.
You and I think, both looked at each other and said, wow, they won the toss and want the football.
Ball is on the tee for Kevin Kelly with Joe Pa with the headset on. Lamar Thomas and Maurice Wells are back deep. Kelly drives it into the end zone, and coming out is Thomas, 15. Alley on the left, and a fine return, Herbie, to the 34-yard line. Tell us about the impact players that Terrell will have.
Terrell Pryor has a lot of players around him. It starts with Beanie Wells. The running back is healthy now for Ohio State, which helps him. But on the outside, I think it is essential tonight for Pryor to find Hartline, who's got ability to get downfield, and Brian Robisky, 2 great veteran receivers to help calm his nerves. And I'll tell you, Brandon Smith last week against Michigan State stepped up to open up some running lanes for both Pryor and also Beanie Wells.
Now, Maurice Wells opens as running back here tonight, and not Beanie. That is Maurice to the right of the quarterback. In for a pass block receiver. So they set up a play on first down to throw it to Wells, and Mark Rubin makes the stop.
Terrell Pryor comes into this, his 6th start. I want everybody to remember, there's been so much made out of his potential. He's a true freshman, still trying to figure his way around campus, Brett, but he has so much upside, ability to run with speed and power. Most important thing for Penn State is to contain him, keep him on the inside, don't let him use his speed to get to the outside with his ability to run and throw.
Beanie Wells checks in. The familiar power eye, and here comes Beanie to the left. Forced back inside. Kirk, if we talk about the Penn State defense of Tom Bradley, 2 things have to happen tonight. They cannot let Pryor get outside on him, as Michigan State did last week. They must force everything back into the middle with him, and they need help.
And we talked with Tom Bradley about that all week. That is very, very important because, as Tom Bradley tells us, not only do you have to have a guy there, but you have to realize that Terrell Pryor is 6'6", 235 pounds with the ability to give you a stiff arm, and even if you have contained, he can get outside of you.
They put both tight ends over to the right. They're going to throw from this formation, and Pryor, who can run, is going to leg it for the first down. There he is getting outside for the first time here tonight. You know, Kirk, it looks to me like he's in slow motion, but does he ever eat up ground?
You're exactly right. He has those long strides, and he's trying to get the ball to the tight end, who's covered nickel, so he gets to the outside. We just talked about how important it is. Rubin feels, the safety feels that he has contained, but it gives you an idea of how quickly Pryor can still get outside and pick up yards.
That's Brandon Smith, the big tight end, in as the fullback, and Beanie picking up a couple against the middle of Bradley's defense. And remember the name Bowman, number 18, folks. He is maturing into the next great Penn State linebacker. Remember, they lost Lee to an injury last spring. There's a young man to keep an eye on.
Well, this Penn State defense, so many things happen off the field, on the field. They've dealt with injuries. Tom Bradley has kept this group together. They're playing with a ton of confidence coming into this game.
Now they bring in Brandon Sane. Terrell steps away, throws complete for the first down. Sanzenbacher. Dane Sanzenbacher, the sophomore from Toledo, Ohio. And they're into Penn State territory with a 16-yard gain.
You just talked about Bowman. He comes on a blitz, and Brandon Sane does a good job of picking him up. It's so important tonight for Ohio State to get good blocks in the middle of their offensive line, so Pryor has room to step up in the pocket, just like he did right there. In fact, Jim Tressel told me this week they've really emphasized him stepping up in the pocket because of his success last week running outside. He feels Penn State's really going to focus on the outside scrambling ability of Terrell Pryor.
And remember the other big change for the Buckeyes. That is Mike Brewster, a freshman center, snapping the ball perfect on the quarterback draw. So it is unusual at this level to see a freshman center, a true freshman center, and a true freshman quarterback come into this game. But when you look back at the recruiting list, Herbie, before this season, Mike Brewster was one of the highest rated offensive linemen in the country and was the second best recruit in the Big Ten behind number 2, Terrell Pryor.
And here they are playing together. And, you know, you think about getting him out of the state of Florida. Every school in the country wanted him. And with Ohio State, they try to stretch you horizontally with Pryor, but then they still have that ability to run Beanie Wells up the middle.
Going to throw back on a screen the other way to Robisky, but it was very well defended that time. That was Sales, the veteran linebacker, and he did not leave his space.
Disciplined, well coached, just a fundamentally sound defense from Penn State. And this is where you find out a lot about any quarterback, let alone a true freshman. Tom Bradley, I think here, the defensive coordinator you just saw, will get creative, mix up the looks when he gets young Pryor, who incidentally he recruited heavily at Penn State. When he gets Pryor in the 3rd and long, this is when he has to create the confusion.
Will they come after him on 3rd and 12? They look like they're in their base defense. They rush 4. A stunt with the tackles. Pryor looks downfield, drops it off short of the first down. Ball on the ground. Incomplete pass. So they stop him on the big 3rd down.
Nothing better than getting pressure with just 4, and this time off to the right. Josh Gaines, the captain, the senior who's been around, gets a push, gets outside of Bryant Browning. That forced Pryor again to get to the outside, but you have 7 defenders being able to take care of those wide receivers for Ohio State.
So taking the ball immediately does not pay off. However, hold on, we're still playing a little field position here because they got over into Penn State territory. So here's Trapasso, who will try to bottle up the Nittany Lions. That took a Penn State bounce, but it is inside the 20-yard line. And that's where we will see number 17, Darrell Clark, who I think could be one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. Herbie, I don't know if you agree with me.
I'm with you. He's having a great year. You're going to start with our impact players with Jordan Norwood, who probably runs the best routes of these wide receivers. Deion Butler has become Darrell Clark's man. He's the fastest. He has the ability to get downfield. Derek Williams, one of my favorite players in all of college football, has been patient, paid his dues. He's a senior. And, of course, in the backfield, Evan Royster. He gives this offense balance. There's been talk about the high-def offense, the spread, the shotgun formations, but you're going to see a lot of I formation with number 22 still running that football right downhill at the Ohio State defense. He's an underrated back. Talk about underrated players. Evan Royster.
Exactly right. He's averaging better than 7 yards a carry.
Stephon Green's a nice compliment to him as well.
So here comes the split HD now, and Williams is lined up in that backfield. That's Corliss moving through it. The toss to number 2, Derek Williams, the senior, and Alley, and he has got a first down. So they line Williams up, get his initial touch of the night, Herbie.
Get his hands on the football. Derek Williams is a playmaker. You have to find different ways to get him the football because of how quickly he can eat up space and pick up yardage. I love it. Up-tempo, first play, toss it to your playmaker. Even though he's a wide receiver, line him up back there and let him get upfield.
What a great block by Landolt. Number 73 out there to clear it for a couple more yards. Now Royster back in. And a beautiful fake by Clark. A first down at midfield as he rolls and gets to Brackett, I believe, was the receiver. Brett Brackett.
Ohio State right now with some confusion. You can see a lot of intensity. They're playing off of the crowd. They're getting excited. They're getting out of position, and it's opening up this offense already here in these first couple plays. Penn State going away from the momentum of which typically the side of the football they would run, back to the backside with a nice throw.
Now it is Royster and Green alongside the quarterback, both of the tailbacks. So formations galore for the Nittany Lions in this game. Swings deflected, incomplete. And it will be second down. We had contact because Hayward thought it might be a lateral, so he went over there just to make absolutely sure. Herbie, if there has been any criticism, and there are some people who are good football people who have followed Penn State's woes in here, and you know, since they joined the Big Ten, they've never won in Columbus, and they've hit double digits only once. That was 10 points in 2004. They have been accused of being too conservative.
Absolutely.
And I think there might be something to it. But here tonight, we've seen a whole bunch of formations, and it looks like they might open it up early. They want to get the clock adjusted to 9:09, we are told. Laurinaitis, a captain, asking for the crowd to climb in here. Second down and 10. Royster picked up no more than a couple of yards.
When you face an offense that's had so much success running and throwing, the first thing Jim Haycock, the defensive coordinator, has to be able to do is take away the run and then try to get Penn State into third down and long, into obvious passing situations, and that's what they've been able to do here after stopping that last run.
Buckeyes rush 3 and break free. Clark goes long in the air, incomplete, and a penalty flag flies. Deon Butler, the intended receiver. Washington, one of the defenders.
Some pushing back and forth. Deon Butler involved in a shove there. It's always when did they look to catch it? They're going to call it on Penn State.
Yeah, you caught it. Herbie, you said that Butler had pushed. John O'Neill is our referee tonight. They might decline this and force Penn State to punt.
Pass interference. Number 3 on the offense. That penalty's declined. Brings up fourth down.
Donald Washington actually had pretty good position on the football, and Deon Butler knew it. He tried to get away with one and pushed Washington right in the back here. Washington loses balance, and that's when the flag came out. That's a good call.
So Hartline and Small will go back for Jeremy Boone's punt. A little bit of a breeze, not much tonight. It's at Boone's back. Weather is gorgeous. Into the end zone, it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Underway at the famous Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio. No score, first quarter. Well, for the 4th straight game, Joe Paterno is coaching the Nittany Lions from upstairs in the press box. An injured knee and a hip problem forced him up there, but they've done pretty well with Joe with a headset on. They've beaten Purdue, Wisconsin, and came back, rallied nicely against Michigan last week. So he's looking for a 4-game winning streak upstairs. Terrell Pryor off a play fake, waits, still looking for someone to break open and then throws it away, Herbie.
That's part of being a freshman that's learning right now in front of us. Instead of running the scout team, he's out here trying to compete against Penn State. And the thing that Penn State, in this particular play, did a good job of, if you take his primary read away, Terrell Pryor is not to the point yet where he can come off his primary, find his second or third option, and deliver the football. He either finds his primary or he usually starts to scramble. And this time he was able to throw the football away.
Ogbu finally broke through for the Nittany Lions and applied some heat. Beanie is hit in that backfield beautifully by Odrick. Jared Odrick, the junior.
Such great strength and quickness on this Penn State defensive line. 91 right in the middle, just gets right across Brian Browning. And when you have Jarek Odrick on the inside, Ogbu on the inside, Koroma, I mean, you have a nice rotation of size, power, and also quickness there in Odrick's case. It's one way to take away the zone read, get penetration.
Third and 12. Pryor forced on the run. Picking up the first down, however, as he puts it in Beanie Wells' hands.
If you notice here in these first couple series, they're giving Pryor the easy throws, the short throws, a screen off to the right. Again, he gets to the outside, breaks contain, and once you get it into Beanie Wells' hands, he has the ability to pick up yardage after the catch. But a nice, simple throw, again, early in this game, just trying to get Terrell Pryor to settle down.
You know, for the freshman, that's 2 out of 3 on third down.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Beanie for a couple of yards into the middle, and the linebacker, Bowman, in on the stop. Let's go to New York and Matt Weiner. Matt.
Thank you very much, Brent. Let's get a check of your prime time pulse on ESPN. At this moment, number 2 Alabama at Tennessee. Huge game for the number 2 team in the country and in the BCS. They've moved the ball but turned it over once, settled for a couple of field goals. It's a 6-3 lead for the Crimson Tide. And on ESPN2, a battle of Notre Dame coaches past and present. Jimmy Clausen touchdown pass and a Golden State touchdown run gave the Irish the advantage. World Series still postponed by rain, Brent.
All right, Matt. Thank you for that. 6 minutes here and no score. And Beanie is hit in the backfield. That's Bowman. He is off to another brilliant start.
They are loading the line of scrimmage up, and Bowman is all over the field because they don't feel any kind of threat truly in the pass game outside of Terrell Pryor's ability to scramble. That time, Brent, they had 8 Penn State jerseys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage in the boxed area between the tackles, just begging Pryor at Ohio State to throw the ball in the early downs. And they're going to continue with that theme until Ohio State has success throwing downfield on early downs.
On 3rd and 10. Won't get the first down this time. Sanzenbacher's second reception of the night. And Tony Davis makes the tackle.
Good coverage downfield by Penn State. Pryor, I think, for the most part, you look at him in these first 2 series, I think as we talked about, Brent, they've given him plays where he has quick decisions and he makes them, or he's scrambling. And I think early in this game, that's a very smart decision.
5 career return touchdowns. This could be a very decisive part of the game tonight. The return. Derrick back at the 11-yard line. Very well covered. Short of the 15. That was sensational coverage by the Buckeyes. Lane making the stop on Williams. We are scoreless in Columbus.
Today's AT&T All-America Flashback, Derrick Johnson. In 2004, this 2-time All-American recorded 130 tackles, 19 behind the line of scrimmage, and 9 forced fumbles, an NCAA record. Johnson became the first Texas Longhorn to win the prestigious Butkus Award. Text vote to 51234 now on your AT&T wireless phone to play All-America Trivia for a chance to win a trip to the national championship game. Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Chevy, an American revolution. And Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
We're back. Second possession for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. They are a slight favorite here tonight, and it is rare to come into this stadium and have a road team favorite. Quick toss out to the flanker. Right, check that. That is Jordan Norwood who came in behind.
Brett, this Penn State offense has been I guess you could say a pleasant surprise. Darrell Clark has stepped up. He's shown the ability to get the ball downfield, throwing it with the vertical passing game, his ability to scramble. I think most people recognize and talk about, but I'm impressed with his ability to throw. And then if you get so caught up when they spread you out, that's when Evan Royster becomes a big factor. They have such great balance within this offense.
Buckeyes moving around, trying to confuse Clark, and they get to him. A dangerous throw by the quarterback as he was going down, but it's incomplete as enormous pressure applied by Gibson.
This Ohio State defense last week against Michigan State started to bring more linebacker blitzes and secondary blitzes. This time Ross Holman comes from the outside and occupies the block of Landolt. You see 73 moves to his outside, freed it up very easily for Gibson to have a clear path to the quarterback.
And there was not a back or a tight end, an H-back, to pick him up, and he just came clean on the quarterback. 3rd down and 7. Williams motions through. Clark, good runner, battles for the 1st down, I believe. That's a strong run, and you mentioned the fact that he can tuck it down and take off. You know, he's not as fast top-end speed as Terrell Pryor, but he can still gain big yards.
Well, he is a strong runner, athletic, and not intimidated at all by this defense. He'll turn the corner, and he's not looking to get down. He's looking to follow blockers and pick up the 1st down. And talked about this offense. You're averaging 234 yards a game on the ground and 247 through the air. It's outstanding balance. Galen Hall, the offensive coordinator, doing a great job this year with his Penn State offense, along with Jay Paterno, the quarterback coach.
Pretty much dead even. Buckeyes gained 44 and now 43 yards for the Nittany Lions. No score. Off the fake. There's the strength of Clark. He made something out of nothing that time.
Well, he looked like he carried Marcus Freeman for about 4 or 5 yards. Freeman, who's playing through some injuries with his ankle and his knee, been around, played a lot of football. He's in pretty good position here. Number 1 right there to make the play, but he gives him a little move to the inside. He actually pulls Thaddeus Gibson with him for 4 or 5 yards, and Gibson weighs, 250 pounds. Finally, he gets down before those safeties come in to knock him out.
Shipley is the Nittany Lions size. 2nd and 5. And again, Gibson, he's all over the place. He's off to a wonderful start. Derek Williams, the ball carrier.
We've got Bowman on one side coming from the backside for Penn State's defense. And now we're seeing a lot of Gibson here, who's moved from linebacker to defensive end this year. The sophomore from Euclid just chasing down the speedster Derek Williams from the backside. Usually you don't even account for the backside block of the defensive end. Here they come again.
Got one-on-one with Butler, and he hit Washington, and there's a penalty flag.
Pass interference. Number 20 on the defense.
So that's 1 on the offense and 1 on the defense.
That's right. Donald Washington called, and he knows that anytime you have your head turned away from the quarterback and then last second you just turned and try to find the football, you will get called every single time. And Donald Washington shoving Butler, has his head away from the quarterback when the ball's in the air. So again, another good call. The officials are on top of it tonight.
Ball on the Nittany line, 44. Royster tries the right side. Keeps on moving the pile. And let's check in with Matt again in New York for an update, Matt.
All right, Brent, here's our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance. Louisville trailing 16th-ranked South Florida late when Hunter Cantwell thread the needle to find Scott Long for the 24-yard game winner, and the Cardinals close the deal. You can vote for this week's Pontiac game-changing performance starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. on ESPN.com.
A minute 20 to go in the opening quarter. Ohio State and Penn State are scoreless. Buckeyes rush 4. Clark with time throws over the head of Norwood. He had Norwood in a hole wide open, Herbie.
He did, and again, Thaddeus Gibson applying the pressure, and I think that's what affected Darrell Clark to his right. Look at 90 again, getting into his face. You're right, he's got Norwood. They're picking on the safety this time, Kurt Coleman, making him make a decision on Norwood behind him or Derek Williams in front of him. Coleman decided to take away Derek Williams, giving a huge space in that zone for Jordan Norwood to be able to stand in, but that time Clark unable to deliver the ball. He didn't have enough time.
Norwood's not going to get it off. He's going to be sacked. They fail to convert that third down, and the Nittany Lions will punt again. Abdullah and Gibson is off to a monstrous night.
Now this Penn State offensive line doesn't give up sacks very often. 6 on the entire year. This time the play didn't even have a chance to develop before that defensive line led by Thaddeus Gibson again in the face of Darrell Clark.
Jeremy Boone, left-footed punter. Small juggles it and out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, so they mishandle that punt, and that's where the freshman Pryor and the Buckeyes will have to go back to work. Aerial coverage for tonight's game, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse airship Bloomin' Onion 1. The Bloomin' Onion 1 airship, fan favorite every week on ABC, ESPN college football broadcasts. Beautiful Saturday night here in Columbus. Next week, Herbie will be down in Lubbock, Texas to see the red-hot Texas Tech Red Raiders and the #1 team, the Texas Longhorns. Here tonight, the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions are scoreless, and wrestling to the ground, Mark Rubin takes the running back Beanie Wells down.
You're right, Brent. The Red Raiders really put it on Kansas today. Made a statement, I thought.
That's a scoring machine. Horns better be ready.
It's going to be a heck of a ball game next week in Lubbock.
Oklahoma State gave all they could handle today in Austin, and ESPN Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. How even? Penn State 51 yards, Ohio State 45 yards. And the Buckeyes come back with their third series. Their longest play of the night has been a 15-yard pass play. The read option, and Pryor gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it was read by the defense, Bowman. And Lisa, what's going on the Buckeye sideline?
Well, Brent, so far Beanie Wells has not been happy about the lack of daylight that he's been getting. While the Ohio State defense was out on the field, Beanie was over on the sideline lighting up his offensive line saying, "What the heck are you guys doing? Stop messing around." And Brent, I can assure you his language was a lot more colorful.
I can imagine, Herbie.
Well, Lisa, he's feeling it, and we're seeing it from up here because right now Penn State is dominating the battle of the line of scrimmage. Ohio State not effective at all trying to run between the tackles, which is typically their bread and butter.
They show a linebacker blitz. Hull is picked up. Pryor has time and tosses for the first down to Robisky. Robisky makes the catch at the 24-yard line. On the other side of the coin, Herbie, I think you would agree with me that the Buckeye defensive line has dominated the Penn State offensive line.
Yeah, that first quarter was definitely won by both defenses. This is a very simple read for Terrell Pryor. Looks very close. Robisky, take another look at that.
Hello, instant replay. Calling Vernal Sell up here in the booth.
His hands got under there, but it was awfully close. Yeah, they're going to check that out.
I knew my man would come through. I sweated it for a couple of seconds, but I knew he'd be there.
Remember, we always think that if it's a close call, you always should stop it just to make sure. That's why they have the instant replay. That was close enough to take another look. Ball's thrown to Robisky low. Robisky goes down. It's just...
I thought he short hopped it. Am I wrong?
We'll have probably some more angles here. Let's check it out.
These are older eyes that I've got, folks. Herbie's got younger eyes.
looks like his hands on the left. You got both? What do you have? Help us out, man.
Hey, AARP sends me literature every month.
Then what do you have?
I might not be right. I say he short-hopped it. Huh? I say that's a good play by a shortstop. Anybody want to disagree with me?
We had Derek Jeter in the house last week.
You know, Herbie, what have we had? About 3 years of instant replay in a college game. And really, I just want to say for the most part, I think it has improved the game dramatically.
And people complained at the beginning, it takes too long. You know what? If you're going to get the call right, and this is a great example. It's third down. Right. Every inch matters in this football game because of the way the two defenses are playing. If Ohio State has to punt deep in their own territory, this is big for Penn State. So I'm a huge fan because you're going to get the call right. Usually.
It started right here in the Big Ten.
Yeah. And
Joe Paterno down there in the booth is as responsible as anyone. You remember when he went ballistic a couple of times on the sideline, and once with justification, Joe, I might add.
I remember that.
He chased that referee, still chasing that guy.
Well, they're looking at every
There's
angle
Joe
they
Pop
have.
upstairs. Dick Anderson over there on his right works with the offensive line for Joe Pop. Galen Hall is further to the right. There you are. There you see Galen. He's calling the plays. Jay Paterno, who's done such a fine job, is right there.
The field is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, you got the short hop.
It'll be fourth down.
Your eyes are better than mine.
To go on the 13-yard line. Please set the clock to 14 minutes.
That's one for me. That's the first one this year, folks. I tell you.
Big stop for Penn State. They're going to get the football in great territory. They get the ball back into the hands of Derek Williams, who's always a threat to take a return back to the house.
Scarrato is back with Williams this time. Scarrato, of course, suffered a minor concussion last week against the Wolverines. Missed about 3 quarters.
Yeah, Brandon.
They need him.
Yeah, Brandon Minor running hard last week, but Scarrato, a tough football player, able to come back and play this week.
You know, you get the feeling, Herbie, that something is about to happen. A blocked punt, a return, or a fumble, kind of on eggshells tonight. He drives Williams back. Trying to shake free, does. And then he's out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Capasso coming down on coverage that time. And you're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC. 59-yard punt. Well, Monday night we'll be with Mike Tirico and the gang to see the last unbeaten. And guess what? It's not Indianapolis. It's Kerry Collins, the former Penn State quarterback, and the Tennessee Titans. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. We're back in '94 when Kerry quarterbacked Joe Pa to an unbeaten season. Over in Happy Valley, Kerry and the Lions beat Ohio State 63-14. They haven't tasted a win like that since. Clark in trouble. He's been under pressure all night. He releases to Mickey Schuler, the tight end, the son of a former NFL player, by the way. And Kirk, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. How's the battle of our two stars unfolding?
Well, right now it's going to change. Somebody's either going to make a big play or make a mistake. But you can see these two quarterbacks. One from Pennsylvania went to Ohio State. The other from Ohio went to Penn State. Right now, I think it's still that feeling out process. Neither's had the opportunity to make a big play, and both defenses really, at this point, have dominated this game.
Yeah, both these defensive fronts, and now there are 3 down linemen for Haycock and Fickle, the co-defensive coordinators for the Bucks. They rush 4 out of it, and Royster slips through for a first down. Now, that was one of the first gaps we've seen for Royster tonight.
We've finally seen Penn State hit a seam. Royster, I think, is going to be okay. It was the first time Penn State's been able to get to the second level. And you talk to coaches within the Big Ten, and you talk to Penn State coaches themselves, they talk about the importance and how good Penn State's offensive line is at getting up to the second level to the linebackers and creating those seams in a defense. That's the first time we've seen it tonight for Royster to have some room to run.
Now Derek Williams lines up for about the 3rd time tonight in that backfield. Butler motions through. They're going to throw to Williams, and it was read beautifully by the Buckeyes. They were not fooled as he slipped out, and coming over was Jermail Hines, a sophomore safety from Cleveland.
Well, one thing you can count on, Ohio State's defense has their eye on Derek Williams. They've seen him all week in practice. Anytime number 2 is not out at receiver and he's in the backfield, I'm sure there's some kind of call to make people aware on the defense of where he might be a threat. That time, it was a slow developing play, giving Ohio State's defense plenty of time to come over and take Williams out.
And Butler wishes he had that block back, too. He fanned on it. 2nd and long. Drop the screen to Royster. Checks back into the game. A manageable 3rd down coming up now for the Nittany Lions. Yeah, I want to talk about Royster. You know, one of the things that I didn't know really until this week is the fact that when he was in high school, he was so good at lacrosse that Johns Hopkins offered him a full scholarship. Folks, when Johns Hopkins wants you to play lacrosse, you can flat play that game. Now, the one thing to remember what that does for a running back, he has balance. Remember the last time you watched lacrosse and he's running with that stick and coming around. Royster has terrific balance. Play fake. Clark in trouble. Gets it off. And Williams was very well covered by Coleman. Kurt Coleman was all over him, and Clark was under enormous pressure that time. Marcus Freeman.
The pressure is up front because Ohio State decides to bring a blitz, and there's actually a twist up front along with the pressure. Freeman's right in the middle. I think the twist created confusion, and it freed up Marcus Freeman. It's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen Ohio State bringing pressure, successfully getting after Darrell Clark.
Boone's 2nd punt of the night. And it takes a big Penn State bounce inside the 5-yard line. They're going to down this at the 3. Jeremy Boone backs the Buckeyes up. A 44-yard punt. And this, so far, has been a game of field position.
It's been an industry leader for generations. Born of a rich performance heritage. Equipped with breakthrough safety features. And wrapped in a classic, timeless look. We believe great cars take a vision not everyone shares. The E-Class, highest ranked mid-size premium car in initial quality 2 years in a row. Visit your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today for information on special offers.
Hey, kid, what's going on, big guy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, you're gonna love this. I'm wearing the new Hanes boxer briefs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they don't ride up your leg. Check it out.
Yo, yo.
Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen.
Underwear that stays put. New from Hanes. That's the Comfort Fit Promise.
Did you park it for me?
Awesome.
Hey. Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac.
What do you mean?
Oh, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills my health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Huh. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
9 o'clock here in the Eastern Time Zone. 6 o'clock out in the Pacific. For Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters, I'm Brent Musburger. Penn State and Ohio State scoreless with 10:58 remaining in the first half. Terrell Pryor has been backed up inside the 5 by Jeremy Boone's punt. And you would expect a conservative call. And now, all right, Herbie. It's Herbie time now.
Here we go.
Tonight's Aflac trivia question. Now, Joe Paterno has won 380 games since being named Penn State head coach in 1966. How many games has your alma mater won since 1966?
Are you kidding me?
We worked all week for an alum trivia question.
That's pre-Jimmy Stillwagon era. You're going way back.
2nd down and 8. Yeah, but you remember the great coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Beanie is stuffed, and it is going to be 3rd and long. And I would think that Tressel would be very conservative here, or will he step his freshman to the outside?
I think you move him to the outside, like what he did on the last 3rd down, where he made the throw to Rubisky to the outside that was overturned. It's interesting to me right now, and I said it before the game this morning on the show College Game Day, that Ohio State's going to have to break some tendencies. If they think they can run against this defense on 1st and 2nd down all game and avoid 3rd and long, they're mistaken. Penn State is too good of a defense to just line up in the I formation and run the football in a predictable fashion.
He's going to let him throw. Over the top, wide open for a 1st down, Zanzenbacher. And he makes it deep into Nittany Lion territory. Blown coverage by the Nittany Lions.
That's exactly right. And I think they might be wondering themselves, here he is, and he's just going to sneak out, and there's confusion by the defensive backs. Watch the Penn State defensive backs. By being cleared out, it opens up a huge void and a miscalculation by Penn State's defense. Tony Davis runs and clears out. Tyrell Sales, the linebacker, 46, he comes up because of the fear of Pryor's running, and then there's just a huge void in the back end.
Our first monstrous play, 53 yards. On 3rd down from his own end zone, the freshman phenom, and now here is Beanie Wells. He was down. You see the umpire marking the spot where Bowman hit him right there. One of the things, Herbie, you saw Davis get run off on the play. Robisky did a terrific job of running him off on that play like he was the intended receiver.
Yep, they had Hartline and Robisky go right to the middle of the field, and then they just snuck out Zanzenbacher to the outside, and the linebacker Sales probably should have drifted with him, but you just have to respect the ability of Terrell Pryor to run for the 1st down, so you have to come up to take that away.
Zanzenbacher has caught 3 passes tonight. There's that read option late pitch. Beanie's in trouble. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update. Matt?
Thanks again, and don't forget, I'll keep you in the know throughout the game, beginning with this Taco Bell update. Number 2 Alabama looking for back-to-back wins against Tennessee for the first time since 1992. Glenn Coffey polishes off a 66-yard touchdown drive there, and Bama leads it 13-3. They've been a very good first-half team. World Series Game 3 in Philadelphia, Brent, remains in a rain delay at the moment.
All right, Matt, we are lucky here that we ducked that rain here tonight. It moved through yesterday and unfortunately hit Philadelphia. So now the direct snap, Pryor, incomplete.
Another 3rd down that they were able to put this young quarterback in because of Penn State's ability to stop the run. You get him into that 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 chances. You're going to really love your opportunity to put him on the sidelines and get your own quarterback back out on the field. But if anything, Jim Tressel flips the field a bit as far as the field position of this football game.
With that 53-yard gain. Absolutely. Trapasso will now attempt to bottle Clark and the Nittany Lions up. It's kind of an old-fashioned Big Ten battle, isn't it, folks? Fair catch at the 11-yard line by Scarrato. So we'll take a break. The Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions scoreless in Columbus. 7:20 left here in Columbus. Penn State and Ohio State are scoreless. Nittany Lions will come out from their own 11-yard line. Royster. So let's go back. All right, Joe Pa, 380 games, 43 seasons. How many of your Buckeyes won? You want to take a guess?
I'll guess at 375.
Pretty close, but look at this. Exactly 380. Huh? Woody Cooper going to be honored here tonight. Earl Bruce, Tressel's 180. That is amazing.
It is.
The same.
Did his guess?
It was a good guess. No help, right?
No. No.
That fellow named Darren didn't know. No. Oh, that would never happen.
He couldn't help me there.
Right straight ahead. Both defensive lines have played so well here in the first half, Herbie.
Brent, I was just going to say, Lisa talked about Beanie Wells kind of challenging his offensive line. Darrell Clark and Evan Royster might want to think about doing the same thing, and maybe they already have, because, boy, this Ohio State defense has been attacking and winning the battle up front and taking away Darrell Clark and all of his tremendous athletic ability around him. That high def right now is a little blurry.
Yeah, the Buckeyes have turned him back to analog here. Clark rolls, fires for the first down, and Derek Williams ducks out of bounds, and he's got the 1st and 10.
When in doubt, get the football to your playmaker, a guy who's a veteran, who's been around. I talked to Derek Williams this week, and I just really wanted to congratulate him on his maturity and poise and the way he's handled his career at Penn State. Coming in, he could have gone to any school in the entire country and been a me type of guy, but he wanted to leave his name and an imprint on a university, and he doesn't look back and regret any of his time at Penn State.
Royster picks up only a couple, so he is way below his average tonight as Russell, the safety, makes a stop for the Bucks.
Yeah, he kind of burst onto the scene as a freshman, and then his sophomore and junior years, he didn't get the football much, but he didn't complain, and he is a great example for all the young high school players out there. Take a look at Derek Williams if you want a role model, because this is a young man that keeps things in perspective. He is a team guy first, and he worries about the individual accolades second, and I really admire that about this young player.
Here's the read. Clark keeps it. Dives toward the yellow 1st down indicator, and looks like the spot is touch shy.
At least they're getting a little bit more of a push up there. Cadogan led his quarterback around from the left to the right and gave him a little bit of a push and an opportunity to give him an opportunity to have some success on 3rd and short. Darrell Clark's been in too many 3rd and longs tonight. He likes these 3rd and 1s.
And Clark himself has to battle strong resistance in the middle of that front. This old John Madden's left foot, right foot.
Yeah. According to the yellow line, he's right on it. I mean, we expected a defensive game tonight. I don't know if we expected this. These two defenses just stepped up and dominated. Right on.
Well, the average starting field position, Herbie, for Penn State tonight have been their own 20. The Buckeyes, now the Buckeyes have had the ball for 13-24, and the Nittany Lions have had 12-27. I mean, there's just been one big difference, is that the Buckeyes had one huge play, that 53-yarder. Play fake by Clark, trying to buy time. Now he's going to go downfield. He's got a man open. Got him. Graham Zug. And the Nittany Lions answer with a big play of their own. The difference, this moves them into the red zone. 49 yards.
Zug's going to come here, but the backside by Williams is going to occupy the safety. That's the key, is they have so much respect for Butler and Williams that he gets lost. He comes up, recognizes that he's got to be able to come up and be able to take away the receiver in front of him. Norwood's on one side, Butler's on the other, and all of a sudden, Graham Zug, who had 7 receptions on the entire year, sneaks behind the coverage.
Royster picks his way. about a yard, and Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker, was stuffing that play.
Well, it's a defense that I think came alive really the last couple weeks against Michigan State, and mainly last week playing with a great deal of fire and emotion. Jim Haycock said after that USC game, they were a bit startled. And I think they started to try to do too much individually. And now in recent weeks, they're starting to just play as a team and have more fun on this side of the ball.
Looking Butler's way, and he was under pressure again. He wanted Butler was matched up with Chekwa, but there was pressure from Hines.
They're bringing pressure once Penn State gets into the red zone. Hines from the outside, James Laurinaitis. They're just bringing bodies, and Darryl Clark is very fortunate that Marcus Freeman did not catch that football and go about 85 yards the other way for a touchdown. Keep an eye on Thaddeus Gibson at the bottom of the screen. He's getting a lot of pressure.
Here's your 3rd and 9. Drops it in underneath, and Royster trying to get the first down, will not, and that'll bring Kelly onto the field. A big hit from Cameron Hayward. Ironhead's son takes him down short of the first down.
This is why you never give up on a play as a defensive lineman, especially on a screen. You have to chase it from the backside, and that is a huge hit by the sophomore Hayward. 290 pounds, close to 300 pounds, coming after Royster. Caught him off guard. Work a little clock here.
Yeah, they're going to bring that clock down before the field goal team trots out into the field. They have a very good kicker in Kelly. Now the Lions use their first timeout. 1:37 up on that clock. So when the Bucks get it back, going to have a minute and a half. Wonderful aerial shots tonight, provided by the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion one. Captain Paul Hino is at the controls of the Bloomin' Onion, a fan favorite every week on ABC, ESPN college football broadcasts.
I was going to go up for a ride tomorrow morning with the kids. Yeah. I think,
a lot of kids were great today. The little one, he
shut it down.
Yeah,
he didn't know about course.
A little bit too excited.
He said,
brutish next to me there.
What is this thing?
Wow.
Great buzz in the air all day, all weekend for this football game.
It's two great schools. And we've done so many great games over in Happy Valley, one of the greatest settings also in college football, like tonight's.
The Illinois game is that whiteout that they had earlier this year.
Fabulous.
Probably one of the greatest scenes the whole year for college football.
So there's your background for, he's not kicking it, he's not shooting a free throw, folks. 3-0. Nittany Lions.
Somebody's on the board.
First. How about that? How's this for a low scoring half? Well, let's take a look back with our Mercedes-Benz drive recap. And Herbie, it was one huge play for the Nittany Lions.
Well, they were able to catch Ohio State in a broken coverage and made them pay for it. Got it downfield in a big way to Zug to get him into field goal range. And looked like they might be able to score a touchdown, but Ohio State's defense buckled down, came up with a lot of pressure when they had to on Darryl Clark. Then, of course, Kevin Kelly comes up with a big field goal for a 3-0 lead for the Lions.
1:33 left on your clock. And again, I want to remind all you fans about Monday Night Football. The last unbeaten, Kerry Collins and Tennessee will play the 3-3 Indianapolis Colts. That should be a dandy.
The Titans have become one of the great.
Coach Fisher doing a fine job. Now the Buckeyes. Here comes Thomas. 25, 30. Big return. And let's go to John Saunders in New York. Front update. Big John.
Brad, is the Sports Center right now powered by Vizio. Want to let you know that Game 3 of the World Series, which is even at a game apiece, is being rain delayed right now, so you probably don't want to go over and watch that. Breeders' Cup race, and this, of course, the big one, the Breeders' Classic. Ravens Pass, a 13-1 shot comes up with the winner. Curlin, the favorite, finished in 4th position. Brent, back to you.
And I did not have Ravens Pass, so Curlin. Big upset in thoroughbred racing today. First down and 10. And here's Pryor backing up. Going to go deep to Robisky. Incomplete. He came to double coverage. Scarrato, the safety, was there. And, of course, speaking of John Saunders, coming up on the Capital One halftime report, he'll be along with Craig and Doug. They have highlights of the day's big games, battle of 2 previously undefeated teams, Oklahoma State and Texas. If you haven't seen the highlights, folks, you're going to want to see how tough the Cowboys played the Longhorns in Austin today. And, of course, next Saturday night, we'll have the unbeaten Longhorns. They will be in Lubbock, Texas, to take on Texas State. You bringing game day with you to that?
Yeah, we're going to be there.
Have you ever been to Lubbock with game day?
Never.
All right.
It's going to be
crazy.
It's
Chris
gonna be
Fowler.
crazy.
We'll go to barbecue together. The old coach will be there. Second down and 10 now. Pryor, you can see him glide out of trouble.
You got 3 timeouts. Probably see Ohio State use one here. You're unable to get out of bounds. But Terrell Pryor, right now, if his first option is not there and Penn State is taking his options away.
They use a timeout, by the way.
Yeah.
Tressel, I think, thought he was out of bounds.
Yeah, he's got it.
And then saw that he needed a timeout. So
better hurry and get it.
Jim took one. So we're back, Herbie, with a 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Buckeyes, and Terrell Pryor, 59 seconds. Of course, he'll be looking downfield. He's got 2 good targets. This is a part of the game that hasn't yet matured with him, I would assume.
Yeah, and anybody that's ever played quarterback, no matter how good you eventually become, you've got to start somewhere, and that's what Terrell Pryor is doing in his 6th career start here as a true freshman.
The Nittany Lions are saying that a Buckeye moved.
Number 70 on the offense.
Yep.
5-yard penalty.
And he did.
Repeat 3rd down.
The reason I want to continue to bring this up is Tom Bradley, Penn State's defensive coordinator. He knows Terrell Pryor personally. He recruited him very heavily for Penn State. What he has to do, because Terrell Pryor is so young, is take his first read away. An experienced quarterback, a veteran quarterback, you take his first receiver away, he's going to find his 2nd or 3rd receiver, and then eventually he will run. Terrell Pryor is a young quarterback. He's looking at that first receiver, and then he's taking off and running, and that's what Penn State's had success with, is containment after he runs.
3rd and 9, snaps it off. Very close to a first down. You'll see where the forward progress is going to be marked. Robisky was the receiver. You know, talking about Tom Bradley, he spent so much time over there trying to recruit Pryor to Penn State. But Terrell Pryor has never been held scoreless in the first half of any game since he became the starter for the Buckeyes. And Bradley and the Nittany Lions have him down 3-0 right now with 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Under pressure, down he goes. He's sacked. Backside pressure, Mabin, the speed rusher, who has been a monstrous find for the Nittany Lions.
Well, Brian Browning, number 70, has had a rough first half against the speed of the Penn State defensive ends, whether it's Josh Gaines or Aaron Mabin. Aaron Mabin just goes right around Brian Browning. I don't even know if Brian Browning saw him. He went by him so fast. They're going to have to make some adjustments at halftime when they decide to throw the football. They're going to either have to use a running back or a tight end to help with number 70 right now, the right tackle, Browning, because Penn State is too quick on the edge for Browning to deal with.
Yeah, you know, I think adjustments are definitely have to be made by perhaps both offenses so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the defenses came in. You expected with Ohio State playing a true freshman quarterback, and Penn State, as good as they are defensively, you knew that it'd be a tough grind for a one-dimensional attack at Ohio State. And for Penn State, I've been somewhat surprised. Penn State's got a really explosive offense, and Ohio State give them a lot of credit for staying in this game because they have been the aggressor. They have attacked Penn State and Darryl Clark as opposed to sitting back. They've taken the fight to the Penn State offense.
2nd and 20 in the final 29 seconds for the Bucs here in Columbus in the first half. Deep down the sideline, Robisky goes in the air and snatches it down at the 27-yard line. Do they have enough time to get that tying field goal? You bet. They've got one timeout. They got 22 seconds. They're in pretty good shape right here.
Just fire it into the ground here. No need to panic. All right, stops the clock. Let's go back to that play because last week Terrell Pryor put a ball up to Brian Hartline against Michigan State, and Hartline was able to fight and make a catch, and this is what he does here. He underthrows the ball. He puts it high enough where Robisky can adjust to the football and then go up and make a play. Scarano gets lost. He doesn't even see the ball, and that's the one thing that Terrell Pryor as a young freshman has. He's got veteran receivers and Robisky on one side and Hartline on the other.
So they're going to take a shot at it with 18. A 2nd down and 10. They've got one timeout remaining for the field goal unit. Pryor throws it in underneath, and he did not get out of bounds.
Nope.
The receiver, and that was Sanzenbacher, did not get out of bounds on it. So the Buckeyes will use that lone remaining timeout to send the field goal unit. We'll take a break. Well, Aaron Petrie has trotted out, and he will attempt this field goal. Not Praetorius. It'll be a 41-yard attempt. He has it the 54-yarder. So this to tie the game here in the first half. High snap, pulled down beautifully. And he ties it. Excellent job by the holder, John Toma, that time, who yanked a high snap down and had a perfect hold. Let's go down below to Lisa.
Coach, with neither team moving the ball particularly well, what was the difference on that drive that allowed you to tie it up?
Well, we made a couple plays there, and, you know, this is a tough football game. Two good defenses, two good offenses. It's a battle.
What do you like about what you're seeing from your freshman quarterback?
Well, you know, he's hanging in there against a very good team in a tough atmosphere. You know, he'll hang in there.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Well, let's send it to New York now to Big John in the game. Craig James and the Magic Man, Doug Flutie. The Capital One halftime report. Take it away, John. Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Southwest Airlines. Well, it is World Series time, so we've got a pitcher's duel going on here, Mr. Herb Street in Columbus, Ohio. A field goal apiece between these two games, and so we'll see what happens here in the second half.
And these defenses have just stepped up in a big way. And, you know, it started, I think, with Penn State and what they were able to do because of the speed that they have up front. Navarro Bowman's been all over the field this first half, making plays and negating Ohio State and Terrell Pryor's any ability at all to get in the open field and make any kind of play where they feel that they can get the ball downfield, and that'll be a key for Ohio State in the second half. And then for Ohio State, it was about the blitz. Boy, they really came after Darryl Clark. They got him to third down. Just a big play towards the end of the first half. So they hit by Hayward that eventually set up a field goal by Penn State, but Ohio State very, very aggressive with Darryl Clark.
And that was our Southwest Airlines playbook. Aaron Petrie with the ball on the tee. Remember, the Buckeyes won the flip, took the ball. So Penn State will have the first possession, and Derek Williams along with Powell back deep. Coming out on the 20. Well, we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary when we compare the two quarterbacks. Pryor with Clark, neither one of them has been able to get anything into the end zone. A field goal apiece here, not much difference.
Yeah, it's about as even as it could be. But one thing about Terrell Pryor, the most attempts that he's had in his entire brief career, 5 games, is 19. He attempted 14 in the first half.
But there is one stat there that stands out, and that's the fact that Pryor has been held to 5 yards rushing. So Bradley doing a good job of keeping him contained, Herbie.
Yep.
Royster behind the left side, a gaping hole. They open up with a 9-yard run. Jenkins making the stop for the Buckeyes.
That's a great way to start this second half off. And this is just great vision. Right here, you're going to see a crease and an alley. And it's the same thing that the running back Royster sees. You see, when you get a big push by the offensive line, they're just pushing all those scarlet jerseys, deciding for Royster to see that crease and then cut back and find it, get as many yards as he can.
Power football. There's the 1st and 10. So I went upstairs to visit with Joe Paterno. With Joe Pa, he did not go down to see the team down in the locker room. He was all alone up there. They brought him a sandwich. So I went up and he said, "You got a cold?" I said, "Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit." He said, "You're getting old." Here I had an 82-year-old guy tell you you're getting old. I mean, come on.
You're a young buck, man. You kidding me?
He's wonderful. One of the great characters. There we go. 1st down and 10. He also thought that they could throw the ball effectively against his secondary, and they're going to put it up here, and they do to Butler. That's the first time they've gone to number 3, and they're working against Jenkins on that play. And remember, Jenkins number 2, and they're chattering at each other. Now, you're looking at 2 fine with Jenkins may be as good a defensive player as we've got in the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, he's had some big games against Penn State here in Columbus, and last year in Happy Valley, 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. But, you know, Joe Paterno and I'm sure Dalen Hall feel they can throw the football, but it's a matter of giving Daryl Clark time to throw. It's one thing to want to execute the pass game, but without time, makes it tough to do, and Daryl Clark hasn't had much time to throw.
Stephon Green, the speedster, checks into the backfield. He'll get his first carry of the game into the middle, and he can explode to the 47, near the 48-yard line. 1st and 10, so a couple of new wrinkles coming out here.
And the one thing we're seeing is just a better job being done by the offensive line. And I love when you see Stephon Green come into this football game, because Royster, the vision, the power, the balance, but Stephon Green comes in, it's a home run threat. It gives them a completely different look for that Ohio State defense to have to deal with.
Lawler checks in as the fullback. There's that power look, and they're going to lead the other way with him and bring Derek Williams around. And let's go down below to Lisa.
Well, Brent, Mike McQuarrie is the one relaying the information from Joe Paterno to the team in the locker room. And Mike said, you know, he sees more than all 9 of us coaches combined. Obviously, we had some pass protection issues in the first half. Joe helped us work those out. I said specifically, what did he have to say to motivate the troops? And he said, I don't want to get into specifics, but he had a lot to say to the offensive line. He really lit into them, like Kirk said, Brent.
Royster back in as the running back on this 2nd and 9. Here comes the blitz. And they run past it for about 4 yards.
I think it says a lot about the Penn State staff that Joe Paterno, the fact that he's a fixture here at Penn State, can stay to go upstairs, to not go down at halftime, not look at the players in the eyes. I think tells you a lot about the continuity. Tom Bradley played for him, has been around. Dalen Hall's been around this school for so many years. Jay Paterno, you go right down the line. Dick Anderson, so many great coaches. So many of them understand exactly what Joe wants. It makes it, I think, a lot easier for Joe to stay upstairs.
Looks like a timeout is going to be used here as the clock was running down, so the Nittany Lions have to burn a timeout. A little bit late in getting the play out to Clark, so we will take a break, and when we come back, the Nittany Lions will see what they can do with this 3rd down and 7. We have not had a turnover in this game, and we've had only 2 penalties, both against Ohio State. The Nittany Lions have not been penalized in the teeth of this sellout crowd, the Horseshoe in Columbus. 3rd down, Clark's going to keep it, but he won't get that 1st down on that play. Not the way the Buckeyes have clogged the line here tonight.
They're doing a good job in the middle. That's been an area that's been an Achilles heel earlier in the year for Ohio State. They just weren't getting a lot of plays, but now we're starting to see that interior, the defensive line, start to make plays last week and again tonight. And when you hold up good at the point of attack in the middle, it allows the speed from the outside to close in on Clark.
Small and Hartline are back deep. Small backs up and goes down, and you sounded like Jim Tressel watching it go down like that.
Wow.
Yeah, Monday night, Colts and the Titans. Peyton Manning and Kerry Collins. The Titans, the last unbeaten team. And they'll tee it up Monday night. You can see the Colts have dominated them over the last 10 games. And Peyton Manning rounding into shape, and the Colts need to beat the Titans in that game, in that division race. Remember, the Colts now are 3-3. Not too many folks are going to be taking the unbeaten Titans in the Suicide League, even though they're at home and unbeaten. First down, and here's Pryor on that read option that time. His best run of the night.
Well, here's a different look. 1st and 10 instead of being under center in the I formation. Just going to read Evans right here. We see it every single week. He collapses down, which tells Pryor, hold on to the football and take it up to the next level. And that's exactly what he's able to do and pick up about 8 or 9 yards. Very different from what we saw in the first half on 1st and 10, where they were under center in an I formation and facing an 8 and almost 9-man front down after down.
That first replay was a great look at a read option, Herbie. When you talked about the defensive end crashing and chasing Beanie, and the Nittany Lions swarming on Beanie this time, and he muscles his way for the first down.
Lisa talked about how Beanie Wells gave the offensive line an earful. I'm sure at halftime, a lot of different coaches gave that offensive line an earful, because for the most part, they got handled up front. More so when it came to trying to establish the run. They did fairly well in pass protection.
Remember, he's playing with that injured foot. Missed the USC debacle out west. Certainly wasn't a debacle for the Trojans. They were magnificent that night.
And the second time we've seen Ohio State in the start of the second half. 1st and 10, shotgun, trying to spread the Penn State defense out. And that might be their adjustment to what Tom Bradley, as the defensive coordinator at Penn State, had so much success of just crowding the line of scrimmage. One way to avoid a defense from crowding the line and Beanie Wells' his ability to run is just by spreading them out with formations. All those white jerseys.
Here's Beanie trying to step out to the left. Picks up a couple, and he's run out of bounds.
You can see right here what I'm talking about, Brent. When you get under center and you're in the eye, look at all of the white jerseys. They are coming downhill, and they're coming right now. The safeties, the linebackers, they don't fear the vertical passing game at all. It makes it very easy on your keys and your reads. When you see that formation in the I formation, boy, you're coming right now to take away Beanie Wells or Terrell Pryor from running the football.
Pryor is 50% on 3rd downs, 4 of 8. Going to throw for this one. Sanzenbacher has been his favorite target, and he moves the chains.
Pretty well designed play here for Ohio State. Brandon Sane goes to the outside, which takes Navarro Bowman with him to the flat, and then he's got a nice void here in the zone to be able to throw the football. It's another quick read for Pryor, where he can be instinctive and just naturally get back and deliver the football in a hurry.
Play fake and a throw on 1st down. Got an open receiver. Brandon Sane, who checked in as one of the running backs. Number 3, an outstanding receiver.
Brent, they broke a tendency here. Now they're in the eye. Watch this right here, because the defense is so concerned with running the football. Now he's a freshman, cut him some slack, but look at the tight end walking down the middle of the field. They broke a tendency of running and running and running on 1st and 10, and Penn State is lulled to sleep by attacking the line of scrimmage. But a nice catch and good execution there to get it to Brandon Sane.
Nice 20-yard play. Pryor going to keep it in the air. Sanzenbacher again. He's thrown down by Mark Rubin. Sanzenbacher has caught a half dozen passes.
I think the adjustment for Ohio State, that's what Jim Tressel has decided at halftime, to go back and say, we're going to spread this defense out and try to see if we can create some matchups that we like, and also mix in some more play action passes to see if we can get them to come up and run support and then try to get the ball downfield. But Penn State, one of the more disciplined defenses in college football.
Here comes Beanie. Sweep left. And Hull rides him down.
Ohio State now 38 yards rushing on the football game.
Just past 10 o'clock in the East. An old-fashioned Woody Hayes game. Wouldn't you have loved this? Sane is back on the field. He's been a factor. Number 3 is one of the running backs off to the right. He's been able to slip out as a receiver. 3rd down and 7. Comes back to the sideline, and the ruling catch at the 26-yard line by Robisky. They're saying he got the foot down, and this is a splendid catch by Robisky. Let's take a look at it.
It's a heck of an effort to catch the football and then try to get the right foot down. Right there. Both officials seem to jump on it. We're going to take another look at this.
It's being reviewed.
I thought the toe was down, and the only question will be if he was juggling the ball, and that first replay did not have a good look at that.
The ball's caught. It's just, does he get the right foot down after?
I thought he had the right foot down. He got one foot down.
Yeah, let's
take a look.
He gets the foot down, catch.
Right here.
Toe. Yep, that's a heck of a catch by Robisky. Are you kidding me?
His control of the ball, it becomes a big issue.
He's got possession. That's a great look right there. Yeah, they'll think this call would hold up here. But boy, both officials jumped right together right away, saying it wasn't any indecision or hesitation. They both thought that, hey, this is a catch.
And they had the two looks that you'd want. One should have had the foot, and the other should have seen whether or not he had possession as he went out of bounds.
After
so the
review,
veteran Robisky.
Video confirms the call on the field of a catch. First down.
Every time he makes a play, I like to give his dad a little shout out. Terry Biskey, great wide receiver coach, who you can imagine young Brian growing up with a coach in the NFL working overtime in the backyard.
So 17 yards on 3rd and 7. Young Pryor is now 6 of 10 on 3rd downs. Beanie Wells, I don't want to mislead anyone. He didn't throw for all of them. They ran for several, but the Buckeyes as a team are that. Let's go to Matt in New York for an update. Matt.
All right, Brent, here's a Verizon Wireless update on Alabama and Tennessee. Nick Saban 7-0 for the first time ever, and 8-0 is looking very likely. This is Roy Upchurch just short of the goal line. John Parker Wilson would punch it in on the next play. They missed the 2-pointers, so it's 22-3. That game on ESPN. All Notre Dame on ESPN2 at UW.
And here we're still tied at 3, but the Buckeyes are mounting a drive. They're into the red zone with Beanie. Looks like he's going to be a little slow in getting up here.
After that first down play, Beanie Wells looking back. He's doing it again right now. He's saying, run it again. Let's go. Same play. He must be feeling a little bit better about his offensive line right now, because he keeps telling Coach Tressel, run the same play. Let's keep going.
Here's 3rd and 3 for Pryor and the Bucks. There's that read option, and Beanie did not get there. Odrick, Jared Odrick, number 91, jumped into that hole.
It's the second time that we've seen 91 Odrick penetrate this Ohio State offensive line on the slow developing zone read. See how long it takes to come from the left to the right, giving Odrick, who's beating his man up front, plenty of time to shoot through and just overpower the Ohio State offensive line. That time the young true freshman Mike Brewster, the center.
Now Petrie back on the field. He's kicked one field goal. If he makes this 36-yarder, it would give the Bucks their first lead of the night. And Trapasso is going to put it down. Slides it in. Buckeyes lead it. For the first time tonight, the battle of field goals continues.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Powered by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Well, near the end of tonight's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Ball on the tee for Petrie. This one will be returned by Williams. Finds a gap, a little shy of the 20-yard line. And that's where Darrell Clark and the Nittany Lions will go back to work. But they're having a lot of trouble moving against this Buckeye defense. Well, Herbie, we'll see if Penn State can mount a drive this time with Darrell Clark. Stephon Green is his running back, but it has been some struggle against this Buckeye front. There's a read option. They're going to throw off it if he can find a receiver. Cannot. Strong run for about 7 or 8 yards. Hayward again. He's been very active. That is since they joined the Big Ten. Their last win here was back 30 years ago. And guess what? It was against another freshman quarterback, Art Schlichter, making the start. He threw 5 interceptions that night, and that's the last time the Nittany Lions have won in Columbus.
Since they've joined the Big Ten, they're averaging about 7 points a game when they played inside this stadium. Tough running by Clark. Abdullah made it, taking the wrong end of the hit there by Laurinaitis coming in. He's taken off the field.
A little bit of a delay look mounted on that play, and then the handoff to Green.
I think Penn State last week, facing the adversity for the first time, for the most part, all year. The way Michigan jumped out of the gate, got up 10-0 on them at home. They kept their poise, and I think they learned a lot about one another. In fact, talking to Darrell Clark this week, he said, you know, we didn't panic. We kept our poise. We're a veteran football team. We're a veteran offense. So he said, you know, coming into this game, we know we're going to face some adversity. We might get down, but we feel confident after what we did last week against Michigan that we're going to keep our poise and execute.
Big hit on Butler. Number 51, Ross Holman.
When you come across the middle as a wide receiver at any level, you know that there's a chance that a linebacker's waiting to light you up. And that's exactly what Ross Holman did that time to Deion Butler, who does a good job of holding on to the football because Holman's right there to deliver the big hit.
Now they're going to slot Williams off to the left. And it looks like Hines is out there. They're going to back off and show zone against him. Clark's rolling in that way. Coming in, he hits Williams at midfield. The play was set up all the way, and the Buckeyes, with a late adjustment on their pass coverage, did not leave one-on-one against Williams.
Chimde Chekwa was taken down the field by the outside receiver vertically, and by the time the corner, who was at the top of this, to your far left, by the time he adjusted and came off, it was too late. The flat was wide open, and a very, very easy throw, a little pitch and catch that time for Darrell Clark.
Now Jenkins switches to the other side. He's been switching all night. Here comes Clark, wide open. His biggest run of the night.
When you bring two linebackers up through the middle, you better get the quarterback, because both Laurinaitis, Holman come, they're picked up, and there's Darrell Clark. That's what he can do to a defense if you blitz. If you don't take him down in the pocket, he has the athletic ability to obviously get upfield and pick up yardage. Good recognition that time by Clark of seeing the linebackers and sidestepping Laurinaitis.
He is the Lions' leading rusher. 39 yards.
He's the offense tonight.
Royster back in as the running back. Fake to Royster, roll to the right. Throws downfield, one-on-one coverage. Williams out of bounds.
Like the play call here. 1st and 10, they go with a wheel route. We saw this play work from a different formation when Penn State played Illinois, and it ended up being in the same end zone for a touchdown to the right corner. Wheel route from, again, different formation. Ball's thrown too far. Derek Williams did not have a chance, but I love the call on 1st and 10 to try to catch the Ohio State defense off guard.
They're going to leave Clark naked, giving 5 receivers. Buckeyes can't get there. The throw, though, is high. Incomplete. And the third quarter comes to an end. ESPN Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Kirk, we have not seen Jim Tressel this fired up very often like this.
You don't see usually this kind of emotion from Jim Tressel at the end of the third quarter, heading to the fourth quarter, but he's into it tonight.
Inside shuttle pass. Royster running to daylight, but he is short of the first down. Hayward makes another stop. He, too, has had a big game. The defensive tackles have played very, very well for Haycock tonight.
Doug Worthington doing a great job. Cameron Hayward, Larimore, Denlinger. This is amazing.
How about that?
I mean,
you're talking about dead even, folks. Have you ever seen something like that?
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, Joe Pa, 380. Ohio State, 380.
You set the tone.
45-yarder. Kelly has kicked a 52. This to tie it. Long enough, but off to the right, and no good. Heavy-duty barking going on.
Still going on. Maurice Evans letting the young true freshman quarterback know he's not done yet. He's still coming back for more.
Beanie, and they ran right at him. They didn't back away from him on that snap. Right. I don't think the young quarterback had any thought of keeping the ball that time. He said, Beanie, sick him.
That's right. Oh, yeah, I'll get you. 28. Your turn.
Here's Beanie again. And let us check in with Matt in New York for an update. Matt.
All right, Brent, earlier today, big win for Michigan State at Michigan. Our nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-American Player of the Week is the Spartans' workhorse running back Javon Ringer, 194 rush yards, couple of touchdowns. He leads the nation with 16 on the ground. Michigan State got its first win in Ann Arbor since 1990. To cast your vote, text the word VOTE to 51234 on your AT&T wireless phone.
Yeah, Matt, Ringer bounced back after the Buckeyes contained him up in East Lansing. Is it possible that the Spartans were looking past the Buckeyes at their arch rival down in Ann Arbor? It seems that way tonight, and Pryor keeps it this time for a first down. Fine fake by Terrell, and they're working on that clock right now.
He went after his guy, Maurice Evans. Actually, it's Josh Gaines this time who was in for Maurice Evans. It's his own read. Watch 47 come down on the ball carrier. It's a great read. Fake the cameraman out. And Pryor on third down makes the good read, and it gets upfield. I asked Coach Tressel, I said, when you run the zone read, which is an option, look, you're either going to hand it to the back or keep it. How often is he making the right read? He said he's about 80 or 85%. That's pretty good for a true freshman.
Straight handoff this time, and Beanie breaks tackle or two. Close to midfield. And a look at the Pacific Life game summary. We, of course, have been keeping track on these two fine quarterbacks, and Terrell Pryor leading by a field goal. And there are the numbers.
The numbers are similar. The thing that stands out to me is that Darryl Clark, who came into this football game, and the Penn State offense came into this game, one of the most balanced and explosive attacks in college football. The way they've been held in check has really surprised me tonight.
At the first down marker. So Beanie Wells very close. They marking third down there on the field. Lion fans are keeping an eye on that clock.
This is classic Jim Tressel football at this point. Once Kelly missed that field goal, Ohio State goes into ball control mode, trying to eat the clock and keep the ball away from Darryl Clark.
Terrell Pryor, fumble, loose ball. Knocked free. Big loose ball, big scrum. Looked like the Lions may have bounced on it. It looked like Bowman may have gotten to the ball and recovered it. This is a great scrum because one of the defensive players knocked it further back so it could not be recovered by a Buckeye. This your key play, perhaps. Take a big look at this, folks.
Brent, it's 3rd and 1. And he tried to make too much happen. And instead of just taking the sneak for the first down, he tried to actually go to the outside and run for a first down. And Mark Rubin just popped the ball loose. It's the first time tonight the true freshman has made a true freshman mistake by instead of just taking the sneak in the first down, he tried to run it to the outside and tried to go 55 yards for a touchdown.
And Bowman recovers. And so here come the Lions now. There's Bowman who recovered it. Royster. He gets the handoff from the new quarterback, Pat Devlin. So Darryl Clark goes to the sideline, and number 7, whom Clark beat out in the spring, steps in here for a series.
Interesting, Brent. Darryl Clark didn't look very happy about it. He still doesn't look very happy about it. Pat Devlin, the sophomore, highly touted when he came in. Looks like an angry young man right there. He's got to keep his focus.
Second down at 1 for Devlin and the Lions. Devlin back to throw, stands tall, slant, and there's the penalty. He gets the interference call against Williams as they slant on Washington, and it's his second pass interference of the night.
Pass interference. Number 30 on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I am going to make one big point about this change. This change is not made unless Joe Paterno starts the talk and approves it completely up in the press box. They are not changing quarterbacks, and now they're talking to young Clark over there.
He's got to keep his poise, because chances are he'll come back into this game. Second time Donald Washington's caught guessing. Doesn't have any idea the ball's in the air. Obvious pass interference this time on Donald Washington.
So the turnover by Terrell Pryor, and here comes Royster picking his way for a couple of... Let's go down below now to Lisa.
Well, Brent, I was just told that Darryl Clark took a hit to the head and is a little foggy over here on the sidelines. Obviously, he wants to get back in the game, but they were keeping him out right now for precautionary reasons.
He's been taking a lot of hits tonight. He looks like he feels fine. He looks like he wants to be in the game.
Second down, Pat Devlin, who initially committed to Miami. They had a coaching change. He decommitted and signed on with Penn State. And they run Stephon Green.
Because Penn State has blown out most of the teams they've played, Devlin has had a chance to play a lot of football. So it's not like, you know, this is a different atmosphere for him. It's not like he hasn't been out here with this offense and had a chance to get a lot of reps. Yep.
This is the noisy end. Royster comes back in as the running back. Devlin's got 10 seconds to work with. He does not want a 5-yard penalty here on 3rd and 2. Got to get it off. Royster behind a block on the right side. Slants. Got the first down. It is a 1st and goal for the Nittany Lions.
Great block here by 83, Brett Brackett. He locks up Kirk Coleman just long enough. And an attempt there by Derek Williams on Donald Washington, but Brackett got a pretty good surge that time on a safety, Coleman, to allow Royster to get up and get a first down.
If they're going to use jumbo, they're going to use one lead blocker. Royster's the tailback. They give the fullback. Lawler bangs to the 1. A good idea down there.
Yes,
and they got the
quick hitter.
Hand it to the fullback and let him power in. Down toward 20 seconds left now. Pat Devlin. Straight ahead. Burrowing toward the end zone. No signal of a touchdown.
Keep seeing those shots of Darryl Clark, and Jay Paterno's upstairs. Joe Paterno's upstairs. It'd be great for somebody to kind of, one of the assistants, to be able to get a hold of him and just say, come on, you got to stick with it, because now we got a big 3rd and goal.
Now they're coming down toward 10 seconds. You see the clock. Devlin and the offense. They're coming down toward 5. He's got to hurry now. Straight ahead to the end zone. No signal yet. We're waiting. It looked like he dove in easily. But no signal. No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown Lions. Pat Devlin replaces Darryl Clark after a recovered fumble, and we've got our first touchdown of the game.
It all goes back to the turnover on the 3rd and short by Terrell Pryor, trying to make something happen. It changed not only field position and giving Penn State the football, but also changed the momentum of this football game. And all of a sudden, Penn State's offense sprinted out onto the field, excited to have such great field position, and took advantage of it.
Kelly tacks on the extra point. So Devlin's second rush touchdown this year. And the Nittany Lions lead 10-6.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Volkswagen Routan, the only minivan in America with German engineering. And Verizon Wireless.
Our first touchdown of the night. And the Buckeyes have 6:25 to work with, trailing by 4 points now, 10-6. There's Pat Devlin. He's on the headset. Jay Paterno and Galen Hall are upstairs. Joe Paterno also wearing a headset. But it's unlikely that he's having much of a conversation with the young quarterback.
He didn't have to make any huge plays on that drive, Brent, but it's just another example of when you're a backup quarterback, you always have to stay on edge, pay attention to the game. You never know when you might get put in.
Maurice Wells fumbles it out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Let's go quickly to New York and Matt Weiner.
All right, Brent, the Sports Center right now is powered by Vizio on ESPN. Number 2, Alabama leads on the road at Tennessee 29-9, trying to get back-to-back wins over the Vols for the first time since 1992. Earlier, number 1, Texas held off a game Oklahoma State team. They got 391 yards and 2 touchdowns from Colt McCoy. Also made a couple of late mistakes. They'll play unbeaten Texas Tech next Saturday night on ABC. Brent, Lubbock awaits.
Indeed, my friend. Bring on the barbecue.
Can't wait. Might see a few touchdowns in that game.
You think?
We've been spoiled the last 2 weeks. Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri. We get more of a, what do you call this? Defensive struggle, right?
Yes, indeed. Terrell Pryor now, and the Buckeyes up against it here in the fourth quarter. Terrell rolls, fires in underneath. Complete, and Hartline's got a first down at the 22-yard line. Brian Hartline has not been real prominent. That's his first catch of the night.
Let's keep an eye on Terrell Pryor after the miscue on the last series where Penn State got the football back. He told me this week, and he said his greatest attribute is his poise. Not his running, not his throwing. He said just being able to make plays. You get tested after you make a mistake like that.
First and 10. He's got Robisky open. And it's bobbled out of bounds. That was Lydell Sargent who came up on Robisky.
One of the things as a young quarterback you sometimes do is you wait to make sure your receiver is open, and you're a little bit late. He's open now, but he waits. See how the ball's late? Actually gives Sargent plenty of time to adjust, even though Robisky got behind him if the ball's thrown on time. Again, it's easy to be critical, but when you're a true freshman, that's all part of the process of maturing and becoming a complete player.
And Kirky's thrown more passes tonight than in any game. He's 14 of 20 for 189. They come back from Beanie Wells. Rubin up to make the stop. Here is a third down for Terrell Pryor and the Bucks. Perhaps the read option, or will we have him throw it again?
He's got Brandon Sane in the backfield, and they love to throw the ball to him out of the backfield. I think they'll give him the option to run or throw here.
Sane slips out, in trouble. Terrell in a foot race. Can he get the first down? Cannot. Tony Davis denied him the first down.
Boy, oh boy. Aaron Maben on the outside, just getting right by the right tackle. Bryant Browning, watch the right tackle, try to deal with the speed, and then he holds him. Maben goes right by him. Pryor lucky to keep the play alive. There's Penn State, discipline. Good job by Tony Davis, waiting for Pryor to come to him, well short of the first down. Boy, it's Maben quick off the edge.
Trapasso, fair catch at the 36-yard line by Scarrato. The Nittany Lions lead it. 4.5 minutes left in Columbus. Well, Pat Devlin, who replaced Darryl Clark, and Lisa Salters reporting from down below that Darryl was shaken up on a tackle, and obviously the medical staff has not cleared number 17. And because Devlin led the Nittany Lions to a touchdown, he stays in. Here's Royster. There's a penalty flag thrown late on the play.
I grabbed the face mask there.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 72 on the defense. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
That's Laramoa.
Like it came in real late as he was going down. Yep, right there.
There are two big goose eggs to remember with Penn State tonight. They have not turned the ball over one time, and they have not picked up a penalty here tonight. Error-free football.
That's how you win on the road, especially in a low-scoring game like this.
Royster to daylight. Got the first down.
This offensive line of Penn State, you have a double team, and you have the big left tackle, Cadogan, coming around. All of a sudden starting to control things up front. Good push right there on Larimore to open up that seam. That's all Evan Royster needs. Once he gets to that second level, he's going to make somebody miss.
So we will take a break as the Buckeyes use their first timeout of the night at the 3:51 mark. Great aerial shots here tonight, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse, proud sponsor of the Outback Bowl, the Bloomin' Onion One airship. We want to thank one and all. Such a great view that they offered us here tonight. Now we have 3:51 to go. The Nittany Lions with the ball. They lead it by 4. This is Royster working on the clock, breaking a couple of tackles, and moving toward another first down.
Ohio State has everybody at the line of scrimmage. In fact, blitzing the linebackers and safeties, trying to come up to take Royster down at the line of scrimmage. You talked about him being a lacrosse player and the balance that he has. Another great example.
I want to take a look at the ESPNU All-State Standings review here, Herbie, because if Penn State holds on, it means so much. Take us through that.
Well, I made a comment earlier this week. If Penn State beats Ohio State tonight with who they have left to play, I think they run the table, and I think they're going to be one of the teams playing for the national championship. I say that because I think Alabama or Texas will eventually lose, and Penn State's going to be there as possibly the only one or maybe the only unbeaten team. So I think they have a shot. Oklahoma State, Brent, I don't know how you feel about it. I know they're sitting there with a loss. I think they should maybe move up in the standings as far as I'm concerned with their performance today in Austin.
Well, it's been 30 years since Joe Paterno has been able to win here in Columbus. He's 340 away, up by 4, first down. The story of this game is how we came in talking about the two starting quarterbacks, and it's a backup who could be the hero. As we look at what Herbie talked about, they go to Iowa. These are the Nittany Lions. They will be favored there. Then they close out at home against Indiana and Michigan State. Herbie, circle that game on a 22nd. If they win this game, it won't be Michigan and Ohio State. It'll be Michigan State and Penn State. That'll be the big one in the Big Ten.
I just really believe, and they got challenged tonight. This game's not over, but I just really believe that this Penn State team, based on what they've done all year, winning this game tonight, you might look at this if you're an Alabama fan or Texas fan saying, wait a second, but I don't think Alabama and Texas will run the table. So let's say, for argument's sake, Texas runs the table. Penn State's going to be undefeated. Is there going to be a one-loss team out there that's capable of going past Penn State and Joe Paterno?
No way.
No shot.
No
So
way.
if they win this game, Iowa could give them a game next week. But then I just think they're 12-0. I think they're in the
An
national
amazing
championship.
story. 81 years old and
couldn't do it
stocking
5 years
perhaps
ago.
another national championship.
Yeah.
But there is still 3:35 to go here, folks.
That's right.
This one is far, far from over. Royster, no gain. A big stop on first down for the Buckeyes. Now you go back to 78. Joe Paterno on the sideline in that game. Matt Suey into the end zone for the Nittany Lions. Art Schlichter picked off 5 times. A 19-0 win. And look who's not happy. One Woody Hayes. And why not? And there he is. 30 years later. Now the Buckeyes are out of timeouts. Royster. Here comes your third down. Up by 4, and so here comes the lead question. If they stop them on third, do you go for a field goal to put it on 7?
I think you have to. Yeah, I think you have to do that. Take your chance to give Ohio State the football back and see if they can drive the field to the young true freshman quarterback to try to send it to overtime with a touchdown. It looks like Penn State's going to let this clock run all the way down, and then Devlin's going to call a timeout. Hey, Pat Devlin's come into this game and managed the game very well. I mean, the game's on the line. He's playing on the road. You could say, well, all he's doing is handing the ball off. He is managing the game, and he's showing a lot of poise for a guy that's not played a lot of football this year.
One of the biggest plays was the pass he threw where pass interference was called on Washington on that slant.
That's right. Well, you're not only replacing Darryl Clark, you're replacing the offense. Darryl Clark is the offense for Penn State, the leader of this team.
Well, here's the thing. If they get out of here with a win, is there a quarterback controversy? Now, Joe Pye has usually diffused things like that. He has stepped up to the podium and said, Clark is my quarterback.
Can I diffuse that for him?
Go ahead.
There is no quarterback controversy. Mr. Devlin, we appreciate your efforts. I know he's highly touted, big-time recruit, but Darryl Clark is the Michael Robinson of 2008 for this team. He brings the intangibles, the leadership to this Penn State team. It's a no-brainer who the quarterback is for Penn State.
Mr. Laurinaitis, and the Bucs get ready for a big third down. Keep it on the ground, run Royster, conservative call. Laurinaitis is there on the stop.
The change of the play clock rule comes into effect in these kinds of situations because in the past you used to have to wait if the team leading had linemen laying on the ground. They'd take their time getting up, and then finally the official would start the play clock. Now, as soon as he's down, boom, 40-second play clock is started.
Letting that clock tick down.
Ohio State, by the time they kick the field goal and the kickoff, have about a minute without a timeout to try to drive down if Penn State ends up making the field goal to try to tie the game.
And their final timeout is used. So how's the field goal block team here for the Buckeyes?
We're going to find out.
Somebody got to come flying off the corner.
Last time out, he hooked one, but he has been pretty consistent this year. He's had a great career. Kickers make me nervous. I just don't trust them.
Spoken like a true coach. Well, Kevin Kelly became the Big Ten's all-time kick-scoring leader back in last week. He hit 3 of 4 against the Wolverines in all 5 of his PATs. He broke the conference mark of 367 by Minnesota's Danny Nystrom and Iowa's Nate Keating. And here he comes. He's made it a 7. 2 for 3 here tonight. Do not forget one Terrell Pryor against the Wisconsin Badgers with time running out.
Brent, on this series late in the game, down 14-10, he made some huge throws in that game, and then eventually the option here to get into the end zone, that was on the road, and I think Jim Tressel gained a lot of confidence in young Terrell Pryor, but this is a different scenario. You need a touchdown again, this time to tie. You're out of timeouts. You're going to have about a minute to drive, depending on the kickoff return, a pretty good distance to try to tie this game up. I thought Pryor executed maybe his best tonight at the end of the first half. And they moved the ball right down the field. Didn't have much time to think. It was more of a hurry-up situation.
Thomas and Maurice Wells are back deep for the Buckeyes.
Let's go,
Kelly drives it deep to the end zone. This will come out on the 20. Here comes Terrell Pryor from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Recruited heavily by Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. Announced his decision to national television in February. Was a superb basketball player, as well as a great high school football player, and here he is.
Got veteran receivers in Rubisky and Hartline to try to get the football to.
Out of timeouts, remember. They need to work the sideline if they're going to stop the clock. Second down. Reminder now to stay tuned after the game for your late local news over most of these stations. And over on ESPN, tune over to SportsCenter, post-game analysis, as well as today's scores and highlights. So it will be second down and 10. Herbie, that was not a well-thrown ball.
No, he short-armed it. And, you know, he has one of these deliveries people are going to talk about. It's awkward. It's almost like sometimes he's pushing the ball. But he's done it his whole life, and you watch him throw the football in practice, he can get it downfield. That was not a good effort at first throw.
Has time, receiver open, hits him at the 40-yard line. And Small ducks back to the 44-yard line. Remember, out of timeouts. It's 23 yards, but they need more than that. Now the umpire signals ready, and he'll stop it.
Pryor has to, again, just relax and make plays. This is a good job here on second down. First of all, the offensive line giving him time. Very surprised that Ray Small's able to sneak out along the sidelines of all places and catch this Penn State defense napping. They were looking to the inside where Rubisky was, and it allowed Small plenty of room to work the boundary.
49 seconds left. Deflected, incomplete. Coming across that time was Bowman, who has played a brilliant game as the linebacker. He got into that passing lane. Remember, he recovered the fumble that set up the winning touchdown drive.
You're right, Brent. He's been all over the field. All he does here is read the eyes of the quarterback, and they lead him right to the throw. Telegraphing a throw, very common for a freshman quarterback, and Bowman just looking right into his eyes, almost came up with the interception.
Third down and 10. Small again for the first down.
Small becoming the go-to receiver, and I think it's because right now Rubisky and Hartline are occupying most of the defenders, and it's freeing up Small, that time again to the sideline.
They stop it with 36 seconds to go.
So you can see the arm strength. I mean, it sometimes...
Well, he could throw it 60 yards in the air.
A little awkward coming out. If he gets the big thing with him is if he gets his feet set and steps into his throw, then he has plenty of strength to get it there.
They bunch the receivers over on the left. Beanie Wells couldn't block his man, but Terrell steps away from him and goes deep. End zone! Intercepted. Picked off by Lydell Sargent. And the Nittany Lions are going to win in Columbus for Joe Paterno for the first time in 30 years.
It's a big interception. Joe is excited. I'm sure the staff is. But I think it has to be noted that we got to go back to Aaron Maben, the defensive end, who gets around not only Beanie Wells, but the tight end that time, Jake Ballard. It wasn't Brian Browning, but the tight end, forcing Terrell Pryor to move off to the right and then just throw it up and hope somehow that Brian Hartline could come down with it. Last week it worked. This time it doesn't.
Penn State remains undefeated. Did I hear them say that the interception was under review?
I guess so, yeah.
You said the previous play, but that wouldn't be that one. It would have to be the interception. Want to confirm what we saw, that Sargent and Joe Pa's headed for the elevator. There's a golf cart awaiting him down below.
It looked to me that Sargent made the catch. He goes up, gets hit.
Don't seem to be any question about it.
A couple feet and a body in bounds, right? He didn't bobble that at all. That's secured, and that's an interception.
Field an interception.
Tom Bradley's defense did a magnificent job tonight against the Buckeyes. They bent several times, but they never broke.
I think wouldn't you agree they have one of the strongest defenses? And we see a lot of great teams, but they're one of the best.
That's right.
Boy, what a big win for Penn State.
That was Tom Bradley, of course, the defensive coordinator out with Jim Tressel. Now here are Chevrolet MVPs of this defensive battle. Navarro Bowman with 10 tackles, 1 pass breakup, but the most important thing is the fumble recovery, which set up the touchdown. The defensive line for the Buckeyes stood out all night long, so we will honor the 2 defenses. And Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the Each University General Scholarship Fund. Lisa?
Thanks, Brent. I'm with Pat Devlin. Pat, what were you thinking when your number got called?
Just go in there and do what the coaches told me to do.
And that touchdown, I mean, what was clicking on that drive after the fumble recovery?
Right, well, Rich Warnberger, who's a great offensive lineman, he just got in the huddle and he told us, we're not going to give this ball up. And we went down the field and scored.
And how did did you think this game was going to play out and how it actually played out?
Right, I thought we were going to score a little bit more, both teams, but, you know, the defenses played great, and it was a great game.
Now, they wouldn't let us talk to Daryl Clark. What happened to Daryl as far as you know?
I have no idea. They just told me go, and I went in.
All right, thanks a lot, and congratulations. Brent?
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. Well, once again, our final score, 13-6. Next Saturday, we'll be in Lubbock, Texas for Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Number 1, Texas will take on number 8, Texas Tech at 8 Eastern. So, Joe Paterno, 381 wins for the legend, but it's been 30 years since he last won a game in Columbus, Ohio. And tonight, he has another victory. And this one could go down as one of the biggest wins of all time for Joe Pa. Joe Pa takes dead aim and another national championship.
This has been a special presentation of ESPN on ABC.